So the new Yubel support is coming very soon, and I'm hype, I'm satisfied, and I have a lot to talk about. As Yubel's biggest fan, I think that I am personally qualified to go over the new cards and the references that we can find in them. As a huge Yubel fan myself, I have watched all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episodes that involve Yubel. I have seen them many times, like quite a lot, and I have noticed quite a few references in these new cards, and I'd just love to talk about them today. So first off, if you don't know, Yubel is a character in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime. She is a dual spirit, that used to be Judai's card, her favorite card, until she was sent to space and infected with the Light of Destruction, making her go a little bit Looney Tunes. But hey, that's why we love her. So Yubel in the anime, her backstory is that in a previous life, she used to be this young girl with purple hair. She was very, a beautiful young girl, who lived in this ancient kingdom, possibly on another planet or in another dimension. It's not really clear. It could have been Earth, but doesn't seem likely. But she lived in this kingdom and was charged with protecting the future Supreme King, which was Judai's past life, if you didn't know. With this task, they fused her with dragon DNA, which turned her into the Yubel that we know today, giving her her, new crazy hair, her big dragon wings, and of course her future dragon forms. And also gave her the power to protect the Supreme King even across time, turning her into the dual spirit known as Yubel. And that backstory is where the card Spirit of Yubel really comes in. This card is basically, it's the Spirit of Yubel. It's the dual spirit of Yubel charged with watching over Judai. When you get attacked, you can special summon this card from the hand, again, pointing at that effect of, watching over you, protecting you, being there to protect the Supreme King. Even her pose in this artwork shows her, standing in a sort of arms-crossed guardian position. She looks like she's ready to protect the kingdom, protect your life points, and just, fight anything that comes at her. If you notice in the background of this artwork, we can actually see the ancient kingdom that she lived in her past life, that she and Judai lived in together. That is the exact same kingdom that we see in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, with the same, backdrop with the little green mountains and the ocean next to it. It is exactly the same as we see in the anime, and that is a really cool detail to have in this awesome new card. Also, its effect is a direct reference to the Spirit of Neos, Neos being another of Judai's cards, one of his dual spirits that also protects him, so that is really cool. Its artwork is also kind of a reflection of Spirit of Neos 2, being the sort of see-through, a spirit of the card, and the way they're standing is very similar and reminiscent. The next of Yubel's support is, of course, Samsara Regenerating Lotus, or Sacrifice Demon Lotus. If you're not a fan of the anime, you probably don't know why this Samsara Lotus Retrain is at all a Yubel support card, but it is. Yubel uses Samsara Lotus in the anime as her tribute fodder for Yubel, and that is what this card's main effect is, to special summon this card from the graveyard while you control Yubel, obviously being the tribute fodder for Yubel's maintenance cost. If you look closely at the card art for Samsara Regenerating Lotus, you'll see that it has that typical Yubel arm, which in the anime, that arm is very well detailed here. You can see the little bits coming up her arm, just like it was in the anime on Martin, Viper, and Amon. All three of these characters had that arm showing their bond with Yubel, their relationship to her, and, the deal that they made for power or for whatever they made a deal with her for. They all get this unique little Yubel arm, same as Samsara Regenerating Lotus. Another new card is Geist Grinder Golem. This isn't so much of an anime reference, except for the fact that Yubel uses this card against Amon. She uses this card, or rather she uses Grinder Golem against Amon, the original, which she uses to special summon to Amon's field, giving her 2 tokens, which she tributes to normal summon her Yubel. Of course, in real life with Grinder Golem, you can't normal summon the turn that you summon your Grinder Golem. However, with Geist Grinder Golem, you can summon this card to your opponent's field and then special summon a Yubel that is in your hand, pulling off that effect the same way that she did in the anime. The artwork also shows Geist Grinder Golem attacking, presumably attacking into your Yubel, same as she did in the anime, and that's how she finished off Amon. Another thing to note is that Geist Grinder Golem in German means Ghost Grinder Golem, which could potentially be a reference to the fact that when Grinder Golem was summoned in the anime, it was sort of infected by the quote-unquote ghost of Echo, Armon's friend, which, you know, is how Yubel did other stuff and got her darkness and made Geist Grinder Golem to attack. Echo showed up with the attack, so that whole Ghost Grinder Golem could be a reference to that, but hard to say really, though I doubt they missed a beat with that. In the spells, we have of course the new Mature Chronicle. This is obviously a retrain of the old Magic Chronicle, or Spell Chronicle in the English. Magic Chronicle was used by Yubel in the anime against Judai. Particularly, she used it to search Super Fusion to her hand to get Super Polymerization, among other things. It was the last card that she got to her hand with Spell Chronicle with Super Poly, and with 5 Chronicle counters on this card, you can add 1 Super Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So that directly is Super Polymerization support on top of Yubel support, showing that, you know, Yubel used Super Poly in the anime, which is, you know, a really, really great reference to have Yubel support that also works with Super Polymerization, because Yubel's whole thing was that she wanted to use Super Poly to fuse the 12 dimensions together and unite herself with Judai. It was a very big point in the anime. The whole Super Polymerization storyline was really big in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and it was all to do with Yubel, so it's really cool that we have a Yubel searcher for Super Polymerization. Another spell that we have is, of course, Nightmare Pain. This, if you don't know, is a direct reference to Yubel's attack and her effect name. When Yubel is attacked, her effect activates. In the anime, the animation shows her being surrounded by thorns, and then those thorns get hit by the monster, and they come out and attack the opponent's life points directly. That is exactly what is happening in the artwork for Nightmare Pain, and of course gives Yubel basically her anime effect, allowing her to deal damage even when she attacks, which is really good and exactly what she does in the anime. So that is really cool, and I really love the artwork for this. I think that is just perfect. It is exactly how it goes in the anime. Surrounds her with thorns and attacks with those thorns, which is really, really cool. And with the new trap card, Eternal Favorite, we have one big reference to the final of Season 3 of GX, in which Yubel fuses with Judai. Eternal Favorite, obviously being a reference to the fact that Yubel was Judai's favorite card when he was a kid, and, you know, now they fuse together, combining together, loving each other, and really just showing their bond that she is his eternal favorite now and forever. This artwork is a direct reference to when they fused together in the anime. It looked just like this, surrounded with the orange grow. Yubel embraced Judai, holding him up to her chest just like that, and it was a really sweet moment, and I think that this card is very, very sweet. And just like in the anime, this card's effect is basically Super Polymerization. If you have Yubel, you can fuse her with any monsters from anywhere on the field, by discarding a card and sending this. So this card is essentially a Super Polymerization and shows what happened when Super Poly was used with Yubel and Judai in the anime, which is just really, really sweet, and I love this card so much. The final card to look at is, of course, Yubel the Eternal Watcher. Yubel das ewige Watcher. Again, apologies if I got that completely wrong. I have no idea how to speak German, but I imagine that's how the Japanese would pronounce it. So, Yubel das ewige Watcher, or however it's pronounced, translates to Yubel the Eternal Love Watcher, or the Eternal Love Guardian, or something like that. This obviously, again, being a reference to the eternal love that she has for Judai, or the Supreme King, in her past life, or whatever it is, that connection that they have, and the fact that she is the Supreme King's eternal guardian. She watches over Judai even in his future lives, and makes sure that he is, you know, survives to defeat the darkness, the evil darkness and the light of destruction, or, you know, both of them, whatever it was that she had to do. So this card is obviously, again, a clear reference to that. She loves Judai, she protects him, she watches over him, but also the artwork. First of all, this card is a perfect Super Polymerization target, being 1 Yubel plus 1 or more effect monsters on the field, meaning you can fuse her again, with only monsters on the field. Much like Super Polymerization, it has to be on the field, and you can fuse her with any of your opponent's monsters as long as they have card effects, which is really, really powerful and really, really dumb. This card, in the background of the card artwork, we see little sparks which appear to be a reference to Super Polymerization. It is very similar to the artwork in Super Poly, that sort of yellow spark going on in the background, but also, as many of you have pointed out in my videos as well, this card's artwork and design appears to be a reference to Flame Wingman. She has a tail, she has a dragon arm on her hand, much like Flame Wingman, and on the same hand, and she has wings on her back. Flame Wingman only has one, but you know, that's close enough. And also she has a very similar color design to Flame Wingman. Not necessarily a similar color scheme, as obviously the colors are very different, but Flame Wingman has that red and green going on, similar to how Yubel has her half black, half white, or, well, not so much white, but, you know, half skin, half... That sounds racist when I... Never mind, we'll cancel that. It has that sort of half and half design that Flame Wingman has, but something else that I noticed recently is that Flame Wingman's design is actually very similar to Yubel in the first place. His elbow has the same point that Yubel has, you know, that sticky out pointy bit on her elbow. He has, you know, again, the similar color design, red on one chest, green on the other. His legs have similar muscles, and same with the black bits going down his pelvis are very, very similar to Yubel's design. He has claws on one hand, very similar to Yubel. The black going around his knees, very, very similar to Yubel. And I can't believe I didn't notice this until I was looking at it today, but they are actually really similar in design. And I've heard some people speculate that this similarity in his design, also the fact that his fusion materials is one male, one female, much like Yubel is half male, half female, people have speculated that this is the reason that Flame Wingman becomes Judai's favorite card. At the start of the anime, he always said my favorite monster, well, all throughout the anime, he called it my favorite monster, and as we found out in Season 3, Yubel used to be his favorite monster, and, you know, his dual spirit, the card that he loved the most. So, it's very likely, I don't know if they intended this, but I feel like they did now. It's very likely that Flame Wingman was his favorite because of the similarities that it has with Yubel, which I think is really, really cute and really, really awesome. And especially now that the Eternal Watcher references Flame Wingman, with its hand, you know, and the tail. It's very similar to Flame Wingman, and I think that that is a really cool detail. So that is all of the anime references that we see in the new Yubel cards. I am also really, really hoping, I mean, surely we'll get Yubel in the new Phantom Nightmare pack, right? I mean, that just goes without saying, but I am really, really hoping that they finally release Yubel's anime artwork. If you don't know, in the anime, her artwork looks a lot more like the Eternal Watcher or the spirit of Yubel. You know, the real-life artwork that we got, for some reason, is half black and half white. It has white bits on her, which I think just look kind of weird. It looks like a really bad 4Kids censor, and it just looks bad. I don't like it, but seeing that now with Spirit of Yubel and with the Eternal Watcher, they're shying away from that black and white sort of theme and showing her skin color on her chest and stomach, which I think looks a lot nicer. I think it looks really nice on her, and I'm really hoping that they release that original artwork for Yubel herself as well. Hoping for that, also kind of hoping, fingers crossed, for Super Fusion God, but it's not looking like it, but only time will tell. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there are any references that I missed, then do be sure to point them out in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Give this video a like and subscribe. Mwah! For more Yubel content in the future. I will be doing plenty of it because Yubel is my favorite card. I really, really love her, and I'm happy that I can do videos of her. Also, if you're interested in Yubel, check out senkara.myspreadshop.com. We have a couple new Yubel designs with more coming in the future. We have Yubel with her, you know, like a yandere, the yandere face, and we also have Yubel with me. These are both artworks that I drew myself and designed myself, so if you want to check those out, you can get them as posters, you can get them on shirts, you can get them on mugs, pretty much anything on the shop you can get these designs on, as well as other designs such as Manjome stuff, and you know, my logo, of course. More designs are coming in the future. I plan to release designs every month, so do be sure to check that out if you could. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. My name has been Sankara, and until next time, see ya.